In 2019, something from outside the solar system entered human radar. The object was named 3I Atlas, the third interstellar visitor ever detected by humanity. Scientists said it was just a comet, but as it approached the sun, things started to make no sense. Its speed, its brightness, and its trajectory showed anomalies that no one could explain. And then, suddenly, the comet disappeared. No images, no transmissions, no explanations. When it reappeared weeks later, something was different, and soon after it disintegrated. But for some, that's not the truth. They believe that 3I Atlas never disintegrated. It was secretly captured by NASA, and what they found is something the world isn't ready to know yet. Initially, updates were constant. Every detail of 3I Atlas was released in real time by the observatories. But suddenly the transmissions stopped. The Hubble telescope images were delayed. The Atlas reports went into internal review. No official explanation was given, and when science journalists questioned the reason for the delay, the answers were vague, bureaucratic, as if something needed to be erased before it reached the public. It was at this point that the theories began. The comet hadn't simply disappeared, it had been intercepted. Initial calculations indicated that 3I Atlas would approach the sun and then move away. But as the data was updated, astronomers noticed something. The comet's trajectory seemed to change, slightly, but enough to raise suspicions. It was as if something had pulled it. Some independent researchers suggest that an orbital interception maneuver may have occurred. A spacecraft or probe could have adjusted its orbit to align with 3I Atlas, capturing it at the exact moment of its closest approach to the sun, a point where no terrestrial telescope could observe it. If this happened, it was the perfect astronomical crime, using the sun itself as a smokescreen to hide a cosmic operation. When 3I Atlas emerged from the hidden side of the sun, it no longer looked the same. Its brightness had diminished too much. Its tail was irregular, and shortly after, reports stated that the comet disintegrated spontaneously. But there is a detail that few noticed. The disintegration was announced without visual evidence. No video, no photographic record, just a sentence in a technical bulletin. Fragmented and unobservable object. For theorists, this was the moment of camouflage. NASA allegedly simulated the destruction to end the matter publicly, while in secret, a recovery mission was initiated. Unofficial documents circulating in specialized forums mention something called SolarNet, a supposed interstellar object tracking program capable of capturing small bodies in orbit near the sun using autonomous space drones. According to this theory, 3I Atlas was the first successful test of the project. The mission would have involved NASA and ESA probes strategically positioned to intercept the object during its orbital blind spot. The reason? To discover what was inside it. If it was really just an ordinary comet, nothing new would be revealed. But if there was metal, artificial structures, or electromagnetic emissions, confirmation of extraterrestrial technology would be inevitable. And something like that would never be disclosed to the public. Several amateur astronomers attempted to capture 3I Atlas during its final phase. Many reported mysterious transmission failures, sudden signal drops, and even temporary blocking of orbital tracking data. Coincidence or direct intervention? A sequence of images taken by a European observatory allegedly showed 3I Atlas changing shape, as if parts of it were opening or detaching before the supposed explosion. These images disappeared from the internet a few hours after being published. Websites that republished the material were taken down by anonymous notifications, alleging violations of scientific rights. But what would a public observatory have to hide? Why hide something like that? The most accepted answer among theorists is simple: control of the narrative. Revealing that 3I Atlas was a spacecraft or even a technological anomaly would mean admitting that we are not alone and that forces from outside Earth have already entered our solar system. The political, religious, and economic implications would be devastating. The space race would change immediately. Private agencies would demand access to the data, and humanity would need to face the truth. We are being watched, so it's easier to cover it up. Say that the comet disintegrated, archive the images, and move on as if nothing happened. According to unconfirmed reports, part of the core of 3I Atlas was isolated and transported by an unregistered emergency mission. Anonymous sources claim that this material was taken to underground facilities in Nevada, in the same complex associated with Area 51. There, it would be analyzed by joint teams of scientists and military personnel, trying to decipher internal structures and unusual electromagnetic patterns. NASA's silence, then, would not be due to ignorance, but to an interagency agreement. 3I Atlas would have been classified as a planetary security object. What was inside 3I Atlas? Nobody knows for sure. But rumors indicate that the collected material did not behave like ice or rock. It was said to exhibit a spontaneous electrical response, as if it stored energy. Other reports, never confirmed, speak of hexagonal microstructures, similar to those found in artificial metal alloys. If this is true, 3I Atlas was not natural. It was something constructed, and the supposed capture was humanity's first physical contact with technology of extraterrestrial origin. 3I Atlas was officially declared disintegrated, but the silence that followed is heavier than any explosion. Why did so many images disappear? Why was the data delayed? And why does no one talk about what happened that month when the comet disappeared behind the sun? Perhaps because it never disappeared. Perhaps because it is now kept in some underground laboratory, being studied by people who know that the universe has already found us. Some mysteries are too great to be revealed, and sometimes the real secret is not in what we see in the sky, but in what they decide to hide from Earth.